Hello there. Come closer out of the dark and sit around my campfire, why not? My name is of no great importance, but the stories I have to tell you are. Witness 4 lost souls journeying together through a grim world of perilous adventure. Be warned, though. These stories are not for the faint-hearted, and once you have heard them, you cannot unheard them. Bear witness to the Vagabond Chronicles. Holy shit. Jim, what are you going to do?
Yeah! Right, I'm mushing the penguins on. We're charging as fast as we can away from these things.
Okay, cool. So, as you can see, the last half an hour or hour or so since you left the pub has been fraught with danger and quite an exciting ride, actually. If this was a film, this would be like pretty cool sequences. Unfortunately, it's not. It's your real life. The 6 road wardens that caught you red-handed at the scene of carnage at the Inn of the Slaughtered Lamb, who unfortunately didn't believe your story that you were just quote-unquote passing by at the time when the slaughter happened on Spooky Night, have pegged you for the culprits. And especially because it didn't help that Teddy had laden the wagon that you had hitched up to your war penguins with all the goods he could find within the space of about 40 minutes. It doesn't really aid to your situation. You're now going up in a very, very narrow chasm, which goes from the lower plane to the upper plane. Either side is about... Sorry?
How many are chasing us?
There's about 6 on horseback, all of them armed to the teeth with crossbows, and they're pretty good shots. Right. There's quite a few crossbow bolts that have thudded into the wagon here and here. In fact, Dr. Dasher almost took one through the neck, but was pulled back down by Teddy.
Dr. Dasher, right, okay.
Yeah, both Dasher... Sorry, very quickly. Both Dasher and also Wavy Davy have pulled up the barrels that you've managed to accumulate, or Teddy's accumulated, in some kind of defense, but the rest of you are at the front of the wagon trying to help, well, kind of not protect Jim, but sort of like get Jim out of the way. What are you all going to do?
Can we offload the... Well, yeah, Bondo is driving. Can we offload the barrels to like, you know, sort of at the guys chasing us?
You can try that. Yep, you can definitely try that. Who's going to do that?
I will.
Cool. Okay, so Tom, you're going to throw back. Both Dr. Dasher and Wavy Davy sort of like see you scurrying back, and Dr. Dasher goes, looks like we found ourselves in another particular predicament there. He's doing a lot of slurring at the moment. You think he might be drunk. Wavy Davy turns to you and with his little pet chicken, who he still hasn't named, on his leash, looks and goes, I'm not entirely sure what we should do. I'm a lover, not a fighter, you know.
Help me with the rules. Help me.
Dr. Dasher sort of keels back over, and fumbles around for what probably is his hip flask. Wavy Davy goes, that's a jolly, crazy, funky idea you've got there, ratty old boy. And he starts helping you offload the barrels. As you do so, they're aiming. The two front riders here are aiming crossbow bolts right at you. You're going to be able to do what you want to do. However, it's going to be a little bit dangerous because you're going to lose all your defense. Just FYI.
Just one, then.
Okay, cool. All right, so make a strength test combined. He's got strength of 3. I would say that you need a 60 or under to do it.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, so roll your dice.
Hang on. This yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in the way, sorry about that. That is a 9. That's a success. You're going to be able to use it. Okay, so you can aim at whichever rider you want, or rather the horse.
Just this middle guy.
Mm-hmm.
Middle guy.
All right, so you give it a good thrust, and it just goes and starts rolling down. The rider who is chasing after you, and these look pretty experienced riders. He does manage to sort of steer his horse, and at the last second, he kicks it incredibly hard in the flanks, and the thing just leaps over this barrel as the barrel is just like bouncing around down. The other riders expertly move out the way, so that didn't seem to work. Okay. Has anybody got any other ideas on what you want to try? Jim, you might have to make a drive test in a minute because the chasm's getting closer. At that point, actually, Teddy dives back and he just he sort of grabs your attention by pulling your arm.
Right.
Hang on, lads. I've got an idea.
What's he going to do? What are you doing, Teddy?
If one of us with small enough hands can shoot me across the crossbeam there and grab that pin, then it'll let the wagon roll back and block the path. That'll block those road wardens' only route up. You get me?
Yeah, but what are we going to ride on? What are we ride on without the wagon?
Lads, who amongst us is so small, so utterly minuscule and, let's say, expendable, that their sacrifice would barely raise an eyebrow? Why are you fuckers all looking at me?
He stops and he stops.
Teddy!
He stops. And he's basically suggesting that you two, and he goes on to say that you two are jumping, you should all pile onto the penguins, that you're big enough. And after a brief moment, he realizes he's completely screwed himself.
Fuck's sake.
And then decides that he's going to have to be the one to do it. That's the plan. That is like the only plan that... I mean, these road wardens have been on you the entire way. The car is slowing down. This seems like the only viable idea. What are you lot going to do?
He's a crazy little halfling.
He's a
crazy little halfling.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, well, I'm gonna say to him, every single one of your mad little plans has worked in the past, so I guess we're gonna do this.
Including the pillow fort.
Including the pillow fort. God, I love that pillow fort.
Who doesn't love the pillow fort?
So right, he's gonna separate the cart. So all right, I'm gonna basically try and help him like get people like on towards the penguins. Like I'll shout to Bondo, get on the penguins, and I'm gonna try and help him like when he pulls the pin, like try and pull him back over onto the penguins as well. Okay?
Yeah, okay, cool, that makes sense. Okay, so Wavy Davy and drags the very quite drunk Dr. Dasher onto the penguin A, which I believe is Rice. And that's Ziggy, right. Yeah, that's Rice, right? Ziggy crawls quite easily onto Cake. And he's sort of turned around in the saddle and is going, yeah, look at me. I'm one of those plain people, like a cow person. Yeah. And just sort of is having quite a hoot of a time. You're all staring at him because he's doing it really badly. Like he's really slowly turning on the penguin. Like he's not particularly adept at riding a penguin. So you all clearly see that. Teddy is looking very nervous and is now sort of yanking at his hood and sort of like wringing his hands a little bit. And he keeps looking at the penguins like maybe he wants to like change the plan or something. So you might have to move quickly, Tom, to convince him.
I'm going to get onto the back of... Is it Cake that's got the most room?
Yeah, Bondo's also going to get on as well. So I'm
going to... Well, Bondo could get on Rice, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to get on Cake, and I'm still holding a handout to Teddy.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So, cool. So at that point, Teddy starts trying to... shimmies over, gives you a nod, and starts trying to alleviate the pin. He does so, and suddenly, with a great vitreous...
All right. I almost got it. Take that, world. Who's the fucking hero now?
He does so, and suddenly the wagon very quickly moves away.
Oh, bugger.
Shit.
Oh, fuck you,
And
Siggy!
the wagon then kicks up onto a rock and smashes and just obliterates the wagon. You see Teddy fly up into the air, and as he screams, "Fuck you, Teddy!" Siggy! Like that, he just disappears over the edge, straight down into the chasm. The wagon has destroyed itself and has obliterated any possibility of getting past. A couple of the horses slam straight into the wagon itself. Rider and horse go straight through. The others sort of pile up one by one. There's only the last rider that actually manages to almost skirt around it, kind of like using some of the horses to almost like trampoline off. The rice and cake have lurched forward to about this point and have now skidded to a halt. All five of you, I guess, are on both rice and cake. And this one rider sort of comes forward and has got a crossbow levelled straight at you, Tom. As he does so, out of nowhere, an arrow bolt comes straight through, catches him right in the throat, and he just goes pinwheeling back into the wagon chaos. At that point, folks, we should probably catch the community up and say, what the fuck is going on? Should we do that?
Hang on. So yeah, what happened to Teddy there?
Teddy's gone overboard,
man.
man.
The chasm.
Yeah, he's just dived headfirst into the chasm. Yeah, fuck you, Ziggy! Like that. Now, I should point out the chasm is about 1,000 feet, and it kind of narrows, so it actually creates its own shadow. You don't know what happened to Teddy. He just disappeared from view. At that point, folks, right. I'm going to take away the board, and we should get the community caught up, because that probably doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
Probably just everyone completely. Yes.
Hello, community.
So
that was like a pre-credit sequence, like a TV show pre-credit sequence.
On Chronicles.
But everyone probably is just thinking, did I just switch on too late?
Hi everybody! So yes, this was an idea that we had about starting this show, because this is a very unusual show. We've got quite a few things to talk about and some things that are going to change and whatnot. So that was sort of like a prelude. We decided we wanted to start it as if we were already playing the game. Not to screw anybody around, but I guess we have done a little bit. So to recap, the lads are on the run again. The wagon got caught up. Teddy, being brave, unusually for once in his life, decides to try and help them by unhitching it from the penguins. And sadly, the wagon, when it goes far too quickly, and Teddy gets pitched over the side into the chasm, blocking the road wardens. There is a mysterious figure that has popped out behind some rocks, presumably that was walking along at the same time, and has come to their aid when the last road warden was about to shoot Ratty point blank. So we're going to find out who that is in a minute. But hi everybody, and hi players. How are you doing, you two?
Hey, just two.
It's just two today.
Quiet. Yeah. So we should probably explain the first thing, right?
Yeah, we definitely should. Yeah, you go ahead, Tom.
Well, unfortunately, because of work commitments and because
the early start, man.
He had to get up because he was in Australia. He had to get up very, very early in the morning. Our dear friend Pete has had to take a leave of absence from the game.
Yeah.
He decided over Christmas it was just too much for him, unfortunately.
Every time he said he was in his pajamas, I felt, I wonder how long he can sustain this.
I got excited whenever he said he was in his pajamas.
Well, fair enough.
But yeah, so unfortunately, Pete is, there is a reason why Teddy is just flipped over the edge of the chasm.
Kill my darlings.
Neil is temporarily, in the most dramatic and way, he's basically just Bucky Barnes him, and so hopefully he'll come back as he'll come back as the Winter Soldier.
Indeed, which would be epic. He'll still be a coward, but he'll be like just a bit better as a coward.
He'll have a steam-driven arm.
the Winter Coward.
Yeah, the Winter Coward. Oh my God, the Winter Coward. Yes, the Winter Coward. That'd be amazing. It's so good.
Yeah, hopefully he'll come back as that, and if and so we've learned, he is gone.
Winter Coward. I love it. It's so
He's
good.
gone but not forgotten.
Indeed. So he's gonna be coming back at some point. But obviously we're being respectful with the fact that he's got a lot on his plate, and the 5 o'clock starts. I mean, bless him. He's our friend. Do you know what I mean? 5 a.m. getting up every day.
Yes.
Every Sunday just to play with us is kind of cool.
Every Monday. It was Monday.
Oh, it was Monday. That's the thing. It wasn't even Sunday for him. It was Monday.
His
He was in the future.
Monday morning. Poor bugger.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah.
So that's our first thing. Yeah.
So we have a new player joining us.
Indeed.
To take his place.
Which is
with a whole new character.
Yeah.
Who may be that mysterious figure that showed up at the end.
Did you say show up or shoehorn?
You shoehorned them in.
So yes, we have a new player, and we're going to get to know them a bit better. But shall we say... Well, actually, first we should also say hello to Jim, and we should say hello to the mods as well.
Yeah, let's introduce the players.
Let's introduce the players again, Neil. So we have playing our Hedge Wizard, Ratigan, we have Tom. Hi, Tom.
Hello. Hi, it's me, Tom, the Hedge Wizard, Ratty, who many of you know. And yes, I'm a Hedge Wizard. I make up magic. I sort of sneeze it. I have 2 ferrets called Mr. Noodle and Mr. Spidge.
That's right. And
who aid me in my magical abilities. They're kind of my 2 familiars. I have 2 awesome... Oh, I got to shout out to Juice, because I'm currently wearing... Juice over Christmas sent me
Holy shit.
a Ratigan gown.
You're becoming the dude. You're becoming Ratigan.
I'm actually wearing
whole room together
right now my Ratigan bathrobe.
Amazing.
It's so cool. It's very, very cool. So yeah, I feel more in character than ever before. So thank you so much, Juice, for doing that.
Nice one.
And yeah, so anyway, yeah, we'll catch up with how the rest of the character works.
Cool.
And we should also say, sorry, to explain, Steve is Dr. Steve is still in the game and still playing TV. He's just away again because he took I had the COVID vaccination.
Yeah, that's right.
This week because he's a doctor and he has to deal on the front line, and he
it's knocked him out a bit, to be honest.
Yeah. He's a bit fluey and feeling a bit crap too, but he will be back with us next time.
Yeah, indeed. He sends his love to everybody.
But
we also then have our resident Swiss Army gnome, Bondo, played by Jim.
Good evening, everybody. It's Jim. Bondo is a man of little stature, and really that's about all you need to know. Anyway.
Little stature, but great means.
Fantastic knees.
Yes. Knees. They're knobbly. He's a gnome, they have knobbly knees. Anyway.
They do have good knees.
Yeah. But yes, Bondo is more to be more... What's the word?
He's just Moorish, isn't he? He's quite Moorish.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, we shall introduce our new player. New player entering the arena.
Enter player 2.
Can we introduce? Hi. Who goes there?
Hello, my name is Blue. You guys might know me as Blue Owl's Medic.
Yo, Blue. Thank you so much for joining us. Blue, and the chat is going mad. The chat's going crazy.
Hi, chat.
Yeah.
They're even more reactive than the time I literally choked on air. They're actually way more interested in you being here than me potentially dying. This is great. This is good. That's a good thing. So, so Blue, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We did talk about this a while ago.
We did, yes.
But I'm glad that we got to do it, which is awesome. So welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I don't think it's right for me to introduce your character. I think it's better if you introduce your character.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, shall we just know that you're playing with us and find out what's going on?
I think that sounds great.
Sounds
So
good.
I think we should reveal it in game.
I think we
That's
should,
quite
right?
Exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
exciting.
it.
Yeah.
Like real
Because we
role
don't really know either.
I have no idea. I sat down with Blue and did all the stuff with it like a couple of nights ago, and I've forgotten everything.
No, you know, but we don't. We
Should
the
I supposed to
players.
write that down?
You're supposed to write most of the statistics
Oh,
down. That'd be
man.
great.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
wing it.
Very
Try
quickly,
it.
folks, because we are going to try and get back into the game. We do have a tiny bit of humongous community news. If we're ready to talk about that, Tom, I think we
I
are.
am, but you need to do it.
Okay,
You
so
need to do-
I'm going to do the thing. Very
Yeah,
quickly.
you've got to do the
I'm
thing.
going to do the thing. Very quickly, hi to all the mods. Thank you very much to all our mods, both on Discord and also on this channel. As always, you're awesome. So, without further ado, Community News with your pal, Thomas Balderdash, Villiers, Theobaldus, Lucien DeVille. Wow.
Lucian.
Blew my
Wow, yeah. Have
larynx
you
out,
just
man.
given yourself a sore throat there?
I really
That's
fucking
it.
pushed that one. This is a big
really
fucking
did.
announcement.
You really, really
The
did.
little audio mixer, it went into the red and just stayed there.
So, the exciting news. I kind of feel that you should almost do it. You should.
I don't know,
almost-
man. I mean, this is Thomas. This is community news, dude, with Thomas DeVille.
All right.
so-
Okay. So the
I'm
big
cool
news
with
is
it.
that we have a present for all you subscribers, tier 1 and over.
So
and
so
this
that's
is
2 and
something-
3. Yeah, every level. Yeah.
everyone is going to get it. Anyone who's subscribing is going to get it. So it is a comic that we have put together, a Vagabond Chronicles comic, which has been drawn by our brilliant artist, Hidden Heroine. Hi, Hidden.
Hidden.
And so we're going to be sending it out to you all as like a PDF, I think,
Mm-hmm.
soon, or something, as like a document. Anyway, like a high-res thing. I don't know. I don't
That's
know how
true.
it's going to work.
It's going to be possibly, yeah. It's going to be PDF, I think. So.
So yeah, it's a comic, an actual Vagabond Chronicles comic, and it's awesome. And it's
This is-
basically, well, you'll see what it is. It's kind of like a reenactment of how the lads first met.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
yeah.
And hopefully, if you guys like it, we're going to do some more.
Yeah, so give us your feedback and let us know how you feel about it. But that'll be coming
Yeah.
out. We'll try and get it on the mail list today. If for whatever reason we can't attach it to the Twitch email, because we don't have your emails, Twitch has it. We just sort of send it through Twitch. But if we can't for whatever reason attach it, we will work out a way through the Discord community to send it out to all subs. And that'll be like, if you sub next month or a month after that, you will get a copy. So we'll sort of be sending it out every month. And if you don't want, obviously, if you get it once, you don't have to download it again. There's an honor system in this, folks, obviously, because it's 4 subs. So don't post it online, please. That would be unhelpful, because it's like a reward for people that subbing. We want to be able to do that for people. So just keep it amongst the people that are subbing, if that's cool.
Yeah, you get to see the special secret comic. which
Special
tells all
secret
the-
comic
tells all the secrets.
of how the Vagabonds really got together, because we lost the first episode because I didn't realize you had to upload it within a week. That's what happened. So
I didn't know that.
yeah, man, I
Oh.
totally lost the first episode because I was so new to Twitch. It was like our second show or something. I didn't know we had to do the thing.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well,
So
you get it. Yeah,
without further ado, should we get back into the game, folks?
I think we should.
All right.
I'm just trying to think of there's no more news, is there?
That's
No.
it, man. That's a lot of fucking news in one hit, dude. New player, new comic. What more do you want,
Yeah,
Tom?
true.
All right.
True. All right.
All right, folks.
On we go.
Back into the action. Bam! So the cloud and dust settles. Both Rice and Cake, who are sort of like being pulling you a bit onwards, who don't really seem to want to be hanging around. You hear the groans of the people that survived. It's just a cacophony of breaking wood and smashing in horses, crying, and men crying. Let's face it. And maybe
We're crying.
men crying, yeah, and maybe.
No, we're crying.
Oh, you're crying as well. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Glossing over the fact that our dear
Teddy was a beloved
dear buddy
character.
Teddy has just blown. I'm actually gone. You know, we're right at the edge of this ravine. I mean, I don't know. Actually, how do we have to keep going?
You can do it. I mean, basically, this guy got shot in the throat. This figure, this cowled figure, stepped out onto behind some rocks,
and the other wardens who are chasing us, they can't get through.
No, the only one that managed to sort of vault through, because on top of the other bodies, has done that.
Actually, fuck it. If they come through, I'm going for them anyway. Ratty is.
Ratty's Ratty.
Beside himself. My little mate, that little lad, he was only 10 years old and he's just flown himself over the edge of a ravine. I should have tried it. I should have had a spell for him. I really should have done. I'm like there, like ranting at the edge of the ravine, like pacing up and down, looking for him and just shouting out occasionally, "Little Ted! Little Ted!"
You think on the wind you can hear his last dying words, which were, "Fuck you, Ziggy." Possibly still echoing around.
Right.
Okay, so both Dr. Dasher, well, actually Dasher's pretty much strapped to the penguin now.
Does Ziggy go back to the edge of the thing and just go, "And fuck you back"?
He sort of walks calmly over in a very brisk manner, goes over, goes, yeah, that's why we all can't be heroes. And then just turns back to rice and cake.
No, that's a terrible thing. That makes him sound like a real arsehole.
But he is an arsehole. So he's a 17-year-old. So he goes back to cake and just goes, well, sorry.
I hope halflings can bounce.
I've heard halflings can bounce, yeah? You'll be fine! Fuck you too! Yeah, he gets back on cake. Now, so Wavy Davy sort of goes over and goes, Oh dear, what a tragedy, my friend Ratty. Would you like me to sing you a song?
I really would. I really would.
Okay.
Wavy Davy, sing us a song.
I'll start thinking of one. Maybe you'll get it done in a couple of days' time. And he sort of walks back to Rice humming a yeah, it sounds great. And just hops up and Rice. Suddenly the figure, you suddenly realise that you still haven't addressed the fact that there's a strange person on this side of the wreckage with you.
They just sort of standing there looking kind of mean and moody after having shot someone in the throat.
Yeah, imagine like the sort of arrogant introduction in Lord of the Rings, but on a bright daylit road. It's that kind of cowled figure holding a fuck off Kule bow. That's where we're at.
A what bow?
A Kule bow with a Q. W.
K-E-W-L.
Kule bow. I don't know, I had a mouthful of bow.
Oh, a Kule, like really cool.
Really cool.
Kule. Yeah. I thought that was actually a type of bow you were talking about.
No, it's just a cool
long bows.
It's a cool
bows and cool bow.
Yeah.
Okay, so they sort of just standing on a rock, looking all kind of.
They're looking,
while we're
like crazy, like one leg.
Raging away.
Like, and if you were really observant, you'd notice that the way that one foot is down, the other foot is really high up. Looks cool, but it's probably like the worst way of firing a bow. They're just doing it for effect. You don't know that because you're an idiot. But if you weren't an idiot, you'd realise that. Okay, I guess Blue. Let's make your introduction. Blue, can you describe yourself? I've given you a hooded cowl, by the way.
Character look like?
Yeah. So you look up and you see her standing, trying her very best to look as intimidating as possible. And it is a wood elf. She is a wood elf, a little shorter than your traditional elf at about 5'8". And you notice, you kind of realize that she looks rather young. You get the sense that she's a little bit younger.
Is she a child? Are we going to be? Are we having a child join us in the group? No, I'm joking.
Not quite.
Sorry.
Well, you just get the sense that she's rather young. Just her posturing, trying to look very, very, intimidating and mean. But you do notice that she looks rather ragged. She's dirty. She looks tired.
She'll fit right in.
All right. So
they're called the Vagabonds.
Ratty, having sort of done his raging at the edge of the ravine, he sort of whips around and he points at her and he goes, You, have you got any rope? Any rope on you? We're gonna try and lower. I'll lower you down. You're small. We can hook. You can pick him up like a big hook with a fish.
So Blue, what's your character called? Dell, isn't it?
Delamira, and
Delamira.
goes by Del.
Goes by Del, okay.
Del is fine.
So clearly, Del, you're face to face with a madman, completely. Somebody who's just raving and ranting about getting a rope. I guess it's something to do with the halfling that got flung over the side.
Yeah, and I did witness that.
You did see that, yes. You completely saw that. And also, you kind of can't working out how they did that, and why the halfling wouldn't have undone the pin from the other side. That's what you kind of can't work out. You're still kind of going, why was he standing in the wagon doing that?
Right.
Anyway, right. What do you, Jim? Sorry, you've just seen this character. This character now. You can take this character in as well, Jim, because you haven't really been aware of her. But it is a female wood elf by the looks of it. But again, as Blue described her, that's sort of what you see.
In fairness, Bondo is having some trouble seeing. He must have some dust in his eye at the moment.
Really? He's got some dust in his eye, does he? Okay.
He's just having a little stoic moment.
He's having a little stoic. Yeah,
You're a little Bondo. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to be looking out in riposte?
Got something stuck in his eye. I don't know. I was an elf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, what dust? It's completely clear. Do you have hay fever? It's completely clear. It's mountain air. It's really good for you. There's no dust here. What are you talking about? My eyes are completely dry.
Shut it, Longshanks.
All right. So you staying on rice or cake, or are you getting off and still looking in riposte over this chasm?
I've gone down and had a look at the ravine, and I'm just sort of still wiping this dust away from my eyes.
Sure. Okay. So Ratty and Blue. I'm going to sort of narratively take it over with you two. So Blue, you sort of you can see everything as we're describing it. You don't. They also look like they're on the run. Clearly.
Can we also see that you're an elf? Yeah, or have you revealed that you're an elf yet? Or
you can notice. You notice just based on my features and the garb I'm wearing, like a leather.
What is the garb you're wearing? What sort of? Yeah, like. So we can see that you're tired and raggedy. What is your what are you sort of dressed like? Like, is it?
Yeah, I'm wearing like brown leathers and like a leather jacket, but they're like it's torn just a little bit. Like I have like leaves in my hair, and I like you said, like I look very tired.
So okay, all right. So you don't have a halfling magnet on you, like a big magnet that we could use, and we lower it, and that we get him back.
Blue, you don't know what a magnet means, by the way. You have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah, so
Loads ratty.
So I do have my bow still drawn. I have an arrow knocked, but it's pointing down, and I look very suspicious. And I kind of look to everybody in the party, having just seen that, and I can see that he's under, in distress from what looks to be losing his friend, and I just sort of shrug and say, "No, I didn't. I don't have any rope. I think your friend is just gone. I'm sorry."
So Blue, at that point, as you sort of look around,
that's the moment that I just kind of fall to my knees, and just like, oh, Teddy.
Do you start bursting into uncontrollable child crying?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so. I just need to get it out.
All right, you just get it out, babe. You just get it out. All right, as you do that, can you? So Blue, can you please make a very quick initiative test?
Do what now?
Yeah, do an initiative test. So this is a D100. Here, this is 10s, this is units, just next to your green hand over here. These ones. And you're going to roll these equal to under initiative.
So just roll those two together, and they've got to, whatever your initiative is, which is
69, I believe.
Oh wow, you've got really good initiative.
It is 69.
It is 69.
Hello.
So 23. No, it's all right. We've done this joke.
I know. Cheap. Very cheap. 23, you passed.
23 is a pass. Okay, so you notice quite a lot, actually. You notice that a lot of these men are trying to drag themselves out the wreckage or push them off, so clearly a couple of them survived. You also notice that what you took to be horses, because you weren't really paying attention to the wagon explosion was more interesting, quite frankly. You realize that what you're looking at are not horses. These things are like fucking monstrous animals that have been saddled. They have massive long yellow beaks. They've got black feathers as opposed to fur. They've actually got these enormous flippers where their legs should be. They're kind of they're kind of like sleek in ways like a horse is, but they have no tail, and you don't know what a penguin is, by the way, but they look like these enormous, monstrous chaos penguins. These are, you don't know what these are. You have no idea. You've never seen any of these things before. You know what a horse is, and you know what some basic cattle are, and domesticated things like dogs and cats and whatnot. But you've never seen anything like this before in your life. It's bizarre. Except for these folks are riding this thing. So these two things. So there's that, Blue.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Now the men are starting to move, Blue. So this is not probably going to be a good idea for any. What do you want to do?
Are we in active? Are they're being actively chased?
No, this is more like narrative. So you can sort of talk, and it won't like you won't have to like make a decision right now. But you can talk kind of briefly amongst yourselves a little bit in character, and then we'll move it on forwards if that makes sense.
So the first thing I do is once I catch notice of these creatures, I immediately stow my bow. Like I wrap it over on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I put the arrow back into my quiver, and I hop down from the rock.
Yep.
And I very cautiously, slowly, with just awe in my eyes, approach these creatures.
Okay, cool.
And I look to these two to these gentlemen here that I've just now met. And I look to these creatures and I say, can I pet?
Can I touch it? Okay, cool. By the way, Tom is still there.
But I sort of nod while still bawling. They're penguins. I have penguins.
Again, you have no idea what the idiot's telling you, but penguins is a word you're not familiar with.
Penguins.
They're harmless, love.
Oh, that joke surfaced again, has it? They're harmless.
The old harmless joke.
No, I mean they're harmless, as in don't pet them. Yeah.
So
They're harmless.
so-
You just spelled that. Yes.
So you do notice, Blue, that you're being talked to by what looks to be a dwarf, and you know because of your history and whatnot that dwarves are not to be trusted.
Yeah, and I'm directing my question to Ratty. Like I'm not even really acknowledging the dwarf.
Okay.
I'm kind of side-eyeing him, but yeah.
You hear?
What's Ziggy doing?
I was just about to say, you suddenly hear this, and Ziggy just falls back from the saddle and lands straight on his arse behind Cake, which is this penguin here, and then gets up and he sort of like falls over again. And sort of like his sword gets tangled on his legs, and he sort of tries to stand up and falls over once more, and then finally stands up and goes, Fräulein, Damle Elf, Guten Tag, like that. He sort of straightens himself up. He walks forward, this kind of very strange, like clunk, clunk, clunk steps, like very regimented steps, and proffers his hand out.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
It spooks me, and I take a step back, and I just kind of squint at him.
Okay, as you take a step back, he quickly turns almost with practiced ease, his hand around, and just runs it smoothly through his hair, as if that was his plan all along. But I'm pretty sure you're quick-witted enough to see that he was definitely trying to push his hand out.
He's so cool.
He's
He's
so
so
styling it out.
slick.
He's so slick.
Yeah.
Man. So slick. He sort of wanders off and goes, well met, and just sort of wanders back to Cake and just pats it on the rump. And goes, now, unless anybody else has some bright ideas, our friends over there in the wreckage are going to get a bright one themselves. Might we get the fuck out of here, yeah?
Oh yeah. Right. So I'm going to throw a look over at the wreckage. Can we see? Are they coming through?
Yeah, they're definitely starting.
They
Like,
come
one of
in.
them's pulling the other one out and is looking and goes, "Oi, stop in the name of the law!" Like that. And they're not really like in a position to actually get you. But give a couple of minutes and they'll be back on their feet and coming out at you.
Okay. So I guess we've got to get out of here. So is there any? So basically, we're just. How much more is the ravine like long? Are we just got to ride it?
Yeah, I would say you've got to ride or run it. You've got a good another, I don't know, let's say, what you can see like maybe a kilometre or so to go, like a third of a mile, just over a half a mile or something like that, before it actually gets to the top plane. And once you're there, it becomes quite wooded very quickly. So, and I mean, it's still a long path. You basically, you reckon if you hot foot it on penguin back, you'll probably outpace them quite quickly, and then you can lose them depending. I mean, they're also, the thing is, they're not in a great state, so they may not give chase. There's only a couple of them still standing. I mean, they seem quite hard-nosed lawmen. But at the same time, they've got to deal with all the stuff that's gone on, all the people that are dead, or the horses are dead, and they may not want to chase you too far, if that makes sense.
Don't downgrade the tension here.
Oh, I'm not, because we all know that this. I say these things, and then always the opposite happens.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I sort of I nod at Dell, and I say and I sort of point out the penguins. I go, rice, cake, rice, and who are you? What are you?
So I look to the penguins that I now know to be rice and cake, and nod and.
You're not sure which order though, Blue.
No.
No, I have pointed that. I did point them out.
Yeah, but it's still very confusing. I'm not entirely sure which
quite
order.
erratically. Yeah.
So I touch my chest and I say, Dell.
Nice.
I stop and I touch my chest and I go, Dell.
Because Ratigan thinks you're speaking Elvish.
So I double tap my chest and narrow my eyes and I'm like, Delamira.
Go on, Ratigan.
And I double tap my chest and go, I know.
Right, okay. So clearly, because Zigri goes, they're coming through. Like that.
Okay. All right.
Enough pleasantries. Let's get the hell out of here.
Right. So do you want to, Bondo? I guess you're going to take one, and I'll. Can you? And I'll say to her, can you ride an horse? To Dell, that is.
Yeah.
Any good riding horses?
And I nod because I am adept at riding horses. So
Yeah.
I nod.
Okay.
All right. In that case, you can. I say, Bondo, you get on rice. I guess we'll go on cake.
Zigri turns around and goes, I'm a cavalryman, right? That was my entire career.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's like Ziggy's really pissed off. He's like turns and goes. He's not cool with this. First he gets.
I forgot after dear old Leviticus. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, dear old Leviticus, you fucker.
I really missed
All
it.
right, you'll get over it, silly son.
All right, so I'm going to interject now. So 3 of you are going on a rice, 3 of you are going on cake, and they are very long. They're much longer than horses in terms of their backs, so they will be able to carry you. Is there anything else that you want to do before we head off into kind of more narrative territory now?
Not right now. No, I think right now we need to get the hell out Dodge. I could sort of say, actually, I do sort of say to Dell, where are you going?
And she looks back at at the penguins and says, I'm heading to settlement. You go this way. And she kind of points down the road.
Like that.
And I just sort of say, well, we don't have much of a choice, do we, really? and so, yeah. So, okay. So, by the way, thanks for shooting that one in the throat, bastard. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She looks very pleased at that and just kind of gives a little nod, like, yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, I have my cool bow.
Ziggy's not happy. You can tell. Ziggy's like really pissed off. The cool thing that she did was seen by everybody, by the way. Ziggy's not cool with that. He's really not.
Yeah, I like this dynamic. We're actually going to have someone in the party who does cool stuff that everyone sees.
All the time. All right. So with that, you sort of, rice and cake on. And when they sort of kick up a storm, and obviously because they no longer have the wagon to pull, and they're pretty sleek anyway, they make very short work of the last part of the sort of rising chasm that goes to the higher plane of the Frugelhofen Valley. The weather, you sort of kick up dust, and you make a merry pace in towards the evening and towards the night as well. You have no idea how far you are really from La Maison Tower. It's actually further than you were told and further than you thought. It looks sort of like, it's not an optical illusion, but I guess it felt closer than it was, but actually it's quite far away still. The weather turns nasty as well, sadly, and even the penguins with their large aquadynamic, I think is what Steve called them, aquadynamic sort of like body frames are getting their sort of flippers are getting like, and their little big feet are getting like swamped into the mud, because the definitely the path is just, it's not even there anymore. It's just a plain now. The weather kicks up. It gets a lot colder. The rain is coming down in almost like a torrent. There's lightning that flashes. The storm clouds roll in almost seemingly from nowhere all around you, and very quickly towards the beginning of the late evening, early night, you are all drenched. And unless somebody has a protection from rain spell, I guess. Nope, you're all fucked. Okay, fine. So all of you sort of get drenched in this weather, and you're feeling pretty miserable. Both Rice and Kate slow down their pace. You can barely see maybe about 30 yards ahead of you, including those of you that have night vision. So I'm just going to do this with Teddy. Whoop! There you go. So he's out of there. Yeah, what do you want to do, folks? I mean, you're stuck out in the wild. You're trying to get to... Well, where are you trying to get to? What is the plan, by the way? What was the plan?
Tell. I can't remember because it was so long ago. I can't remember why we were going. You know, I sort of, I might point out on the way, if Del is behind me on the same penguin, I sort of go, that's where we're going, La Maison Tower.
Okay, cool.
I can't remember for the life of me why.
You can say that out loud because it makes sense, right? I can't remember why. We're going there.
I knew we were going there, and then we had a pub full of werewolves, and then we had a little break and we were goblins instead for a while, and now I can't remember why. That was my dream. I had a dream where I was a little goblin.
Ratty, it's because you're blessed by Tal, you bloody idiot.
Oh, is it because of me?
Yes.
Are we going there because of me? Oh, that's embarrassing.
So Del, you know who Tol is. Tol is the human equivalent of Karnos, which you're familiar with. If that makes sense. So just in case. So that is. But then he's a madman. They're all mad. They all seem to be completely balmy and strange. So to take of that as you will. Cool. Okay. So the weather's gone particularly bad. Can everybody make an initiative test, please?
Stack of dice. Have we got any more D10s? Where are the
D10s over here. I can do my godlike powers and go bam, bam, like that. See?
Oh wow!
Know, right?
You can just suddenly.
I can summon them.
I'm keeping
Do you just poof dice?
I poof dice. It's true. Yeah.
Roleplay gun.
Right.
Okay, 83. That's a massive fail. By the way, Blue. Everybody
massively failed.
I forgot to tell you, the boys tend to fail in useful rolls and get the really obscure ones. Like they
we pass like when there's pointless. It's a near pointless roll. We'll pass it with ease.
Yeah, really well.
A scratch card for a fiver. We're laughing.
Yeah, exactly. Be right back. Hang on a second.
So I failed. So I'm just there puzzling away. Ratty is puzzling away at why we're going to La Maison Tower. He's just off in his own little world. So that's on. Neil is just off doing his dishes. That's good. It's great.
I can hear the dishwasher shut. Yeah.
Neil.
Hi, folks. Sorry about that.
Right. Washing sorted. Which program did he put it on?
Nothing else. So 53. So everybody's. Have you passed or failed?
Failed.
Everybody's failed, including Blue.
Guessing, did Del fail?
I think so.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So that's good. So almost without.
Fit right in.
Fine. So without realizing, you suddenly stumble across a wayside, what looks like a wayside inn, just literally just right in front of you.
A wayside shrine to Angry Neil.
No, yeah, it's a wayside shrine to Angry Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you going to do? There seems to be a light on, but you're not sure. Like there's basically the hut is like this. There seems to be a kind of like rug in front of it, and in the center of it is smoke coming out the middle. There seems to be some kind of light coming through the middle, so it looks like somebody's actually occupying it. But it looks like a wayside, not even a shrine. It's like a wayside holding area.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
We've got to get out the storm, right?
Well, you don't have to, but you are starting to cough and splutter, and you are going to get ill. I mean, you might be ill already, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have to check this out.
Cool. Is that a common consensus? Anybody staying outside? What are you going to do with the penguins?
Is there any sort of trees or anything we can kind of...
Can we like shelter them?
There's a couple of trees either side that are sort of like blowing precariously in the wind and the rain. You could theoretically tie them up to any of them. Jim's probably best suited to do that. The entrance, actually, sorry, I got that wrong. The entrance is not on the side. The entrance is on the edge here. So there is actually just one entrance, and it looks like it's just a simple rag. It's not even like, it's just like a bunch of rags hanging from the doorway to cover the shrine, if that makes sense, or the way shrine.
Okay.
This is basically the way, what do I call it? Yeah, these kind of things are basically to protect travelers if they're caught out in things like a storm. So their entire purpose is literally a safe harbor throughout a storm, just so you can not die, I guess, depending on your point of view, if you can weather storms or not. But basically, they're there to protect you from the storm. So presumably if somebody's already in here, there's a fire going, so this was probably a good idea to join them pretty quickly. You are starting to all cough and splutter and you are feeling the effects of this storm, and lightning is striking the ground at various points. Not next to you, but it's not a good idea for you to be out here, basically.
We're still on the penguins.
Huh?
We're still on the penguins.
You're still on the penguins, yeah.
So I hop off and I motion to the two people behind me and I go, off, get off, get off, get off.
Is Ziggy who gets off behind, just absolutely steaming with rage. I could have done this. I could have ridden the penguins. I am so, I can't believe we let the new person ride the bloody penguins. Okay.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, I guess we get off.
Okay. Now, one thing does occur to you as you get closer to the hut. This seems eerily familiar. Do you remember what happened last time something like this happened, that you were caught out in a storm?
You blow a hole in the back of a hut because it's Skaven.
That's right, yeah. So how do you want to approach this situation? Because it does feel eerily familiar.
You're gonna just blow down a hole in the wall from the outside in. just
easier that way. Yeah.
Have you did you keep any explosives, by the way? Jim?
I should be able to make them, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah,
you didn't keep any. Did you keep any?
You've got
one. I made two, and we use them both.
You've got one silver bomb left, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you got one silver bomb.
Jim.
In fairness, I'm playing a different angle on this one.
Okay. All right.
Different angle.
So I look at you, Bondo. So Bondo, what's the plan then? Because I've just said to you, shall we blow a hole in the wall?
Who else is going to light a bloody fire? And I'm going to slide off the back of the penguin and go running in, shouting, "Teddy!"
Okay, so you're going to run in. Okay.
Oh, this is so touching.
All right, cool. You do run in, and actually, unlike last time, you run straight into the little hut there, and there's actually nobody. It's just literally a fire that's been lit, and you see that there's a couple of what look to be kind of dead, dried, salted rabbits hanging from the ceiling. There's a couple of dirty bedrolls lying there, and it's just sort of been unoccupied. It's just been left, which is bizarre, but it's perfect, exactly what you need right now.
Okay.
It's a little weird, but
Yeah, that's suspicious. How far is it to La Maison Tell?
You don't think it's that far. I mean, you don't know. You sort of lost your way a little bit. You've been keeping to the path, but you don't know how far it is to La Maison Tell from here. You could be right upon it.
So we're going to have to shelter here, really.
I think the point is, you're going to have to shelter here overnight.
Oh, fuck. All right, this is, what happens whenever we shelter? Okay, so Are we going to set a what? Are we? I sort of turn to the others and go, well, whenever we tend to do this, something tends to happen. Generally, a werewolf or some kind of giant rat thing attacks us. Those nasty Skaven bastards. So, what are we going to do this time? Are we going to set a watch or what? Don't everyone answer at once.
I know, this is exactly how I feel often, Tom.
Are they all just like...
I think he's gone. So, Blue, what are you doing right now?
I seem very preoccupied with the penguins.
Okay.
I seem very concerned. I'm obviously not feeling well. I'm wet. I'm drenched. I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
That seems evident. But I'm making sure that they're okay. And when nobody's looking, I give one that I'm saddling. Putting up to the tree, I kind of give it just a gentle pat, like a reassuring pat.
Do you find a bribery like sugar cube and just like profit whenever he's looking, just to make it your friend?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so you start bribing which rice or cake? You don't know the difference, but.
So I'm looking at a structure. I'm looking at a building, sort of.
Yeah, you just seen the gnomes already sort of run in there screaming Teddy, and Ziggy, or the man you know as Ziggy, is now walking calmly in, sort of going ugh. With him are the bard figure that you think is a bard. He's got a broken lute on his back. He's now sort of like helping, like kind of half carrying somebody called Dr. Dasher. You don't know, he's another human, and they've all gone inside the hut. There is a fire inside. You can tell by the reflection here and the smoke coming out the centre of this kind of like makeshift chimney. So, and there doesn't seem to be any noise. So apparently it's abandoned. Well, maybe it's abandoned. Maybe they're just being held at gunpoint or something. But yes, they sort of disappeared into the structure. That's what you can see in front of you.
So once I make sure that the penguins are squared up, I kind of look around me and realize, okay, and I just head on and follow them in.
Okay. So you walk in and you see, it is abandoned. In fact, there's even like provisions like iron rations and hard bread and salted rabbit just hung up. So presumably this is quite well stocked. Maybe there's lots of
are people using it as a journey point?
Kind of, yeah. It's a journey. It's exactly what it is. It's like a shelter for people journeying. But the difference is it's stocked. Like it seems to be semi-fresh. So whoever did this may have done it like, you can make an intelligence test if you want to work it out. But it looks like people have actually sort of maintained this. So, which is weird because that never really happens.
Is there a bed?
There's like bed rolls on the floor. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. They're basically just burlap sacks and a lot of hay being crammed into a bag, basically. Like a beanbag that's being sort of thrown around. Yeah.
So I would walk in and I would just like kind of like own the place.
All right.
No cares. Come in swinging. Drop my bag on one of the bed rolls. Cool. And start wringing out my clothes.
By the way, Blue, this is the first time you've been inside a human building.
Yeah, I'm very curious. I'm kind of looking around, but I recognize that it's shelter.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not a dumb
yeah.
But I'm very curious looking at this fires inside here and
the fact that the corners are
everything.
so straight. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, kind of put my hand up against one of the walls and look a little impressed.
Except you're not.
Like embossed leaves.
So Blue, you put your hand up against the wall, give it a pat, and your hand goes straight through it. It's basically like what, and it's like mud. It's like a mud hut, basically. Your hand just punches straight through it. You're like,
and
impressive.
I just kind of wipe my hand on my pant leg.
Okay, cool. All right. So I guess without further ado, is anybody doing anything specifically? Otherwise, we are going to go into narrative.
Well, I suggest like I said, I think, all right, we've got to stay here because of the nasty old storm blowing overhead. But like I said, whenever we tend to do this, something tends to happen. So any of us going to do a watch? We should have a watch, right?
Bondo would take the first watch.
God bless you, Bondo. And with that, I just immediately throw myself down. There are no hedges, right? I can't.
No, there's no indoor hedges here, Tom.
Yeah.
I think
that's what I should start doing is dragging a hedge indoors.
I think photosynthesis would be quite difficult in confines of a darkened hut.
I don't actually photosynthesize.
No, the bush.
I'm not actually made out of
the
hedge.
shrub. The shrub would be hard to do that. Just saying. Okay, anyway, we're taking far too much time over this. So so you go to sleep, and one by one of you, all of you fall asleep. So soundly do you all sleep that Bondo is left doing the entire night of the watch because nobody bothers to wake up, and indeed Bondo at some point dozes off. You all wake up pretty much at the same time. The air is clear. The storm has passed, and as you one by one sort of exit, say you're in Barris Good Mornings, and exit through the through the sort of the burlap that's creating the door, you can see in front of you, it just sounds ludicrous now, but obviously at the time you couldn't see anything. Right in front of you is this huge clearing, this massive clearing in the woods that just stretches out right in front of you, and the road you're on actually goes straight down into it, and you can see very clearly what must be La Maison Tal. It is a community, by the looks of it, that's surrounded by villages. By little village, like kind of villages like this, all around it. In the centre, this is, by the way, a very a reasonably tall, what do you call it, like a palisade that goes all the whole way around this massive clearing. In the centre of which you see a building that is in this kind of like T shape. There are what looks to be stables over here. There's lots of kind of pig pens and cattle pens over there. And there's no fields or anything around it, but you also see that there's a river that goes straight through it.
So what you're saying is, if we'd gone a bit further up,
yeah, you'd have gone straight into it.
We would have actually hit a really nice village.
Yeah, you'd have made a really nice village that you could easily bedded down in comfort for.
Yeah.
It's like this. Yeah. So that's what you see. I mean, you're quite a ways off. So basically, if you come over here, I'll put Dr. Dasher on there. That's where you are right now, in this little tiny shitty hut, and this road goes down to what clearly is an entranceway over here that leads to this beautifully manicured kind of like I don't know, community, kind of like an ashram thing, you know. It's like it's really nice and it's really like well kept and civilized.
Yeah.
Well, civilized in terms of like, you know, a place out in the middle of nowhere, so it's not that civilized.
And it's human, right? It's a human settlement.
Even from this distance, you can see lots of people walking around. You can see people in the fields around it. There aren't any fields from because you're on a slope, so you're on a vantage point, so you can see right down into it. But there doesn't seem to be any fields inside the structure, and there seems to be lots of kind of like small hamlety villages around it that have fields but aren't connected in any way to the centre itself. So La Maison Tal, which is the House of Tol. Now, you don't know that much about Tol, funnily enough, but Blue, you know about Carnos. So you know that agriculture is not really a big thing, that actually foraging and using animals in the land. You can cultivate animals to a point, but only for like eggs and things, or bees for honey and stuff like that. They don't really like do kettling in terms of like mass farming. In fact, agriculture itself is kind of frowned upon by Carnos, and thereby virtue Tol as well would not be, if your place of worship wouldn't have cultivated land, if that makes sense. But these villages and hamlets around it could be sort of like a support network of communities that sort of use that work with them, with the La Maison Tal, presumably. So maybe like communities that have grown around it. Does that make sense? What are we describing now? Cool. So as you so it's a small fertile basin between the peaks. The area is slightly wooded, as you can see, with cleared fields around the monastery complex, and small lay settlements seem to have grown up around it. You see that they're mostly farmer-type herders, maybe hunters and trappers, and they seem to be going in and out of the monastery's open doors. There is a large water stream that goes the entire way through. That's actually come straight through the valley. You know it's called the Vastwater, but it seems less violent than it was a bit further downstream. But it's a stream rather than a river, so it's far too small for boats, and it disappears at some point in the town, so presumably it goes underground. And there is a very, very large well here, just like that, which is a large well which presumably feeds the local communities. You do know that La Maison Tal is obviously a monastery of Tol, as you might expect. It's a god of nature and wild places, and it seems that many of the clerics, there's many clerics actually within the structure moving around. You can see people what seem to be chanting, and there's people in prayer, and there's actually a large shrine at the end here, and it seems very much like a place of worship.
Does the shrine, is it like of the god? Do we see what the god looks like?
It's actually a circular thatched chapel, at the eastern end.
Okay.
And it's surrounded by a herb garden, what looks to be a herb garden. I'm going to sort of dictate to all of you. You are all moving down towards La Maison-Telle. And as you get closer, the doors, by the way, are open. They don't seem to have any guards on them whatsoever. I'm going to use Dr. Dash to sort of move all of you. And as you enter, you're waved at by people either side, like over here, these little people over here and here, that are cultivating the land around you. Almost immediately, a small initiate seems to, in long monk-like robes, sort of like comes up to you, not really running, but sort of lightly jogging towards you, in very bouncy and peppery kind of like manner, and comes up to you and goes, welcome, travellers. You look tired, and well, let's face it, your clothes have seen a better day. Please come in. Are you here about the advert?
I don't trust this guy at all.
Okay. I'll put your characters in a combat-ready stance. Hang on a second. There we go. just in case you have to slaughter the entire town. All right, here we go.
No. That was a joke. By the way, I forgot to mention that.
What are you doing with the war penguins, dude? Are you still with the war penguins?
I guess we probably did. We stash them back at the shack that we stayed in.
It's up to you.
How far away is the shack from the from?
Few hundred yards.
Yeah, I would say that we kept them there. I would say I would keep them there.
All right.
Yeah, we probably just left them there. By the way, I forgot to mention that I need to update the robe situation. That I'm currently Ratty is wearing his green robe. And the other robe that I have on, I don't wear both of them one on top of each other. I tie it into so the purple robe, I've tied into a sack at the end of my staff that I'm using to carry shit in.
Okay.
So that's, sorry, just
it's a knapsack. You make it into a knapsack. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
anyway.
Yeah. So he says, "Are you here about the advert?"
I believe my general policy is when anyone ever asks me that question, I say yes. Yes, we are.
Okay,
That's how stuff happens.
All right, so he goes, excellent. I will arrange meeting with Jean-Louis forthwith. But please come, have some wine, have some cheese.
I sort of muttered to Bondo, do you remember anything about an advert? Was there any
Bondo likes work, let's keep it simple.
Okay, so
all right, fine, okay, right, keeping it simple. Yes.
Okay, cool. He leads you to the doorways. Now, this is actually this is not to scale clearly, but it's actually like a very, very long corridor lined with many doors, like this, and then it sort of tapers again. It sort of like starts up again and goes this way. It's quite a strange design, and there's these two other double doors at the end here. Much like the ones you've come through, and they're quite a uniform. But there's many doors that come off this weird, long, huge corridor, and there's loads of people around. That's the thing. You're not like alone in this. You're very much surrounded by other people, mainly humans. It has to be said. So a lot of whom are in robes. You even see one of the doorways open. It looks like a little dorm room, and there's a guy who is placing what looks to be like town clothing, like city clothing, into a neat pile, and already has a long robe on. And it's a bit weird. It's like people have come. It's like almost like it feels a bit like a hotel, but it's a religious hotel. If that makes sense. Doesn't really make much sense, does it?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, like it's like
a
Lords
spa.
or something. Yeah, like a spa. Yeah, like Lords. Like people come here to get blessed and
that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there seems to be some kind of ritualistic nature to what they're doing. But everybody seems really happy, and they wave to you, even if they don't really seem to get to know you. You're taken. Yeah, exactly. You're taken all the way down to the end of the corridor into another room, and you're led into this room.
By the way, as we're walking, I do sort of say to Del, I noticed that you're sticking with us. Then, we were just, I believe you helped us out back there, and then you got on the penguins, fair enough, and then you stayed in that shack, and you're still here. That's any I mean, I got no problem. I like elfy people, all right by me.
Wow. Siggy just looks and goes, Yeah, smooth. And just walks past you.
I just noticed you're sticking with us. That's all. I'm just saying. I'm not.
You notice though, as you're talking to her, that she looks, as you kind of pointedly look at her and start asking her, that she looks completely overwhelmed. Like this is, since you guys, we all entered. This is nothing like she's ever seen before, but she's still, like you said, sticking with you, and she just kind of looks at you and kind of shrugs and says, "I was headed here. I'm here now."
Okay.
You
Well,
two made for each other.
very convenient. Very convenient. I like it. All right. And that's, this is all, by the way, very muttered aside.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So as you're led into this library, and almost immediately there's little chairs and little dainty chairs. Actually, Ratty, you're about to sit down in one, and another little acolyte comes in and immediately puts down a very long roll of what looks like thin paper, and just covers your chair in it, and then just sort of offers it to you. You notice he doesn't do that for anybody else, weirdly. You're sort of set into this library. What was that? What's this? What are these things? I don't know what I just did. I've created arrows. My powers are so great.
Did I just hear like cowbells?
Yeah, did you see that? Can you see this? I'm surrounding you with arrows. Wow, weird. Can you not see that?
Arrow.
Yeah, we see them.
Weird. My powers have grown. Okay, so you're shown into this room, and down you sit down in chairs. The acolyte sort of runs in and out, and they start immediately, without even being asked or you asking them. They bring food, mainly wine and these cheeses, like a smorgasbord of cheese, like a cheese platter, which they put down in the center of the room. As the acolyte turns, you notice you're in a very nice library. It's very well organized. It's plain, but there's many, many books there, and you all know that books are expensive because there is a printing press. Printing press exists, but they are relatively rare things. Like most people don't own a book, let alone read. In fact, so this young acolyte turns around and goes, "Jean-Louis will be with you presently. Please indulge your palate." And he sort of walks off and bows and closes the door very, very quietly. And the two doors are sort of closed, and you're just waiting there. What are you going to do? There's a platter
we
full of
crossed
cheese.
the border from Fantasy Germany into Fantasy France.
Maybe. Not France, Tom. This is old world Bretonian.
Yeah, sorry. So are we now in Bretonian? Bretonian
Yes. Maybe. This is. You don't know what the accent is. You've never heard that accent. In fact, I don't think any of you necessarily have. Ziggy actually goes, he goes, huh, Bretonians. Yeah.
So and I say to him, I say
my roleplay hat is not on today. Sorry.
No, it's all right. That's okay. It was a try. It was an attempt. I say to him, are they also elves? Are they like elves too?
No, Ratty, they're not elves. This is an elf. That was a human talking funny.
And I give a little wave, like, I'm the elf.
So sensitive.
Okay. Bondo is fascinated by the book, so I'm going to grab a wedge of cheese, stuff it into my mouth, and have a look through all the books in the library, fingering all the spines of the books.
You do so. So you grab a mitt full of cheese. It's quite an acquired taste. I'm going to have to make you make a toughness test, please.
The cheese, I love
the cheese is really strong. It's super strong Bretonian cheese. So that's your toughest. 99 is a massive failure.
Critical fail.
That's a critical failure. Oh my god, that's a critical failure. Okay, I'm going to make you... Wow.
I was going to lose a fate point to the cheese.
So, Blue, do you remember... do you remember, Blue, I was telling you, like, how... They always make rolls that are completely inconsequential. They also they also really fuck up rolls that they really shouldn't have no business fucking up. Okay, so not only, like, so you stuff a huge mittful of cheese in your mouth because you lost all of your provisions, folks, when the cart went down. You've lost everything apart from anything you were carrying on you, by the way. So you're really hungry. So you just stuff this cheese right in your mouth, and it just
Bondo, you need to get
much.
a Cheez-It joke into this.
Yeah.
No, don't run away yet.
Okay. So you start it, and not. So it tastes so strong, and it's so eye-watering, and all your capillaries around your nostrils just flare out that you start choking. Please make a toughness test again. You're now choking, like literally, it's wedged in your throat.
I'm gonna
I'm
whack
having
him
a
on the
nail
back.
up cake moment.
Okay.
Right. Toughness is 4. I would pass that with luck.
Okay, so you do obviously have luck. It's the first one in the game, so you have luck. So you increase your toughness temporarily by 10 points. So therefore you pass. You just start choking, and you immediately Heimlich yourself. You Heimlich yourself, on the table edge, and you like that, and all this cheese just goes everywhere, all over these nice books in front of you.
Lovely.
I'm morally offended at myself.
Cool.
You slimed the books.
Slimed them, yeah.
Slimed the books. At this point, the elf steps forward actually, because Blue wanted to do something right now, I believe.
Yeah, I'm looking at Bondo, and I had noticed that he was looking at all of these books.
Yeah.
And I kind of look at him, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" Because I'd noticed that you...
Don't touch the cheese.
And
if Bondo suggests steering clear of the cheese, it's quite strong.
I noticed you look at the books. Do you read? Can you read?
Yes, gnomes are known to read. Yes, I'm quite technical.
And I swing my bag around, and I very carefully, tentatively, almost a little suspiciously, take out, I'm going through, I have a bunch of notebooks and pads of papers, and I bring out one specific piece of paper and casually hands it to Bondo, and I say, "Can you read this?"
Jim, can you read it out? It's in the Vagabond's WhatsApp group, if you want to read it out. I've just sent it now.
2 seconds, let me find that. Is that in Discord?
WhatsApp.
Right, okay. I'm on
Not
Sorry,
Neil.
ye WhatsApp. That's,
WhatsApp.
is it not in there?
I'm looking at WhatsApp.
Only WhatsApp.
Oh, sorry, folks. Hang on a second.
I'm waiting on the washing up
Yeah.
being done, but that's
No,
about it. And-
It's,
here we go.
it's now in there, yeah.
Right then. Adventurers of wit and some little intellect required for a survey of the Grey Mountains of this area in search of tombs, burial mounds, and other such relics of the antique past. The searching to be conducted by small groups, each with an allotted region, who must study, survey, map, and report in a fair and readable hand upon all sites of interest they discover. Skills and talents for scouting, mapping, and survival are a requisite, since each party shall rely on their own resources to maintain them in the wilds and look to themselves against all danger and adversity. Good pay, with bonus. Oh, I love bonus. For each
Good
discovery
bonus.
made. Seek out Jean-Louis Dintrans at the monastery of La Maison Tal. Oh, well, hopefully this is the bloke
So,
I need to see.
So when Bondo finishes that, right, it goes, "Oh, so that's the advert."
What advert were you thinking of, Tom?
I don't know. I just say yes to whenever anyone says, "Have you seen the advert?" I say yes, because adverts A are great and B get me work. So yes,
You're an idiot. Okay.
I'm an idiot. Let's not say that.
This is good.
All right.
Yeah.
So, so cool. As you read it out and you sort of all murmur, "Ooh," amongst yourselves, the two double doors open, and in steps through. First one's quite a tall gentleman, but a very kindly one, a very kind face. I don't have anything to hand appropriate, so I'm going to use something that's ghastly and horrible, like this werewolf.
This dude here.
Yeah, that'd be great, actually. Can you whack him? Yeah, there you go. All right. He's like a pirate. Oh, he's like a...
And there's this fellow.
Oh, he looks good. We'll use him. Sorry, thank you for the save there, Jim. All right, so this gentleman steps forward. He's wearing a long robe, and he's falling over. He's wearing a long robe, and he's got one of those... What are those haircuts called when you sort of see the top of your head? A little bit of hair around it.
Tonsure.
A tonsure. He's got a tonsure on, and he introduced himself as the master of La Maison Town. Welcome, welcome. I trust your journey through the mountains was a safe one. He's very tall. He's got a long, kind of proud nose. His skin's incredibly dark, as if he comes from some of the southern lands who are genetically have much darker skin than the Empire does for some reason. That you do see them quite often in trading centers and stuff. You know, the world is quite connected. But
Stallion?
Yeah, something like a stallion, basically, kind of like what is the equivalent of like Sicily or something like that. He's got a really beautiful dark hue to his skin.
Complexion.
Yeah, like that. So he looks like he's like kind of Sardinian or maybe even like North African or something like that. Something quite beautiful. And he's got a very, very easy manner, and he immediately sets you all at peace in just by speaking to you all. I trust your journey through the mountains was a safe one. Now, you're not actually a follower of Tal as such, are you, Ratty?
No, I've sort of been marked by him.
You have no idea how to address this guy. All right.
Yeah, no idea.
Okay, so Ziggy steps forward and does a very clipped thing with his heels.
Your boldness?
You say your boldness, and then Ziggy just goes, ugh, Lord Preza. Like that, Lord Brother, he says. Lord Brother, like that. Does anybody else want to attempt to ingratiate yourselves with the Master of La Maison Tal?
Once he starts introducing himself... Oh.
No, sorry, you go ahead, Blue. Jim, you can go after us. Blue, what's up?
Once he introduces himself, I snatch the pamphlet back from Bondo after he's read it.
Okay.
And stand up, and I'm kind of holding it anxiously, figuring out if I want to approach, and... I walk up to him and I say, I have this, yes, yes. And I kind of awkwardly bow, and I'm shaking a little bit. I'm a little nervous.
Okay. So Ziggy at this point does an aside to Bondo and goes, I'm confused. Which one is the idiot again?
Bondo says yes.
Bondo says yes.
Right.
Oh, that's all of you. Oh, good.
Thank you for your kind greetings, sir. We have had an interesting journey here. However, we are now here.
Indeed you are. So, thank you very much for answering the call. There is a lot of information that we're trying to get out. Sorry, I've just completely changed accents. I've just done Ziggy, sorry.
Ziggy is now...
Too many accents,
Yeah.
right. Because, thank you for coming. It is, there's a lot of ground that we have to cover, figuratively, spiritually, and literally. So we are glad that you are joining what has been a fancy for me. I suspect you would like to hear the details of what I am planning to do with this many expeditions going out. Expeditions. Apologies, my old worlder is not always the best. About 10 years ago, for about 10 years now, I've been writing a book. He sort of motions you to all sit and your wine. Is anybody drinking, by the way? Is anybody daring the cheese, by the way?
No. I think Bondo was the sole...
the control experiment.
When Bondo does that, I pull out a knife and stab the cheese.
There, that did it.
I was about to eat the cheese, but when I saw what happened, I slowly put it back down on the plate.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So he carries on and sort of like he offers, he sort of passes the carafe of wine around to all of you. He doesn't serve you, but he sort of offers it to be passed around. For about 10 years now, I've been writing a book. It's not going to set the world on fire, I know this. It is just a piece of local history, but I hope it will be of some interest to some scholars and historians. Some 400 years ago or thereabouts, a remarkable band of outlaws operated from a series of valley bases in this here very general area of the Grey Mountains. They were known as the Blue-Blooded Bandits, and it does seem most of them were sons and daughters of Bretonnian and imperial nobility. Various legends have grown up about their exploits, and after a reign of terror lasting almost 4 years, they were run down and destroyed by the Duke of Pauveron. By the way, Ziggy at this point goes, yeah, it's a blue-blooded bland. Yeah, that's right. He's not lying, he says it quite loudly. Jean-Louis sort of coughs and goes, As I said, I am now almost at the end.
Just gradually realizing that Ziggy has the potential in a later life to become Dr. Evil.
He kind of is a little bit, right? He's getting that way.
Yeah.
Well,
He's heading in that way.
there's nothing.
He's not flying.
Nothing so breathtaking as a Sean Scrotum. Yeah, he's getting that way. Sorry, I really threw myself off there. Okay, as I said, my idea is almost at an end. It remains only to document local legends and stories, and to locate as many of the burial mounds as possible. The tradition you see is these outlaws, they buried their dead in copies of ancient burial mounds, partly because they thought it was fitting for fallen nobles in such a wild place, and partly so that the graves would never be found by the authorities. I need to locate all such mounds and have maps of them. Obviously, this is a task far beyond one man or group of men or women to search such a vast area, so I've hired several groups of people to scout the mountains. My hoping is that you'll join them. They have already left, but there are areas I would like you to direct. This is the area I would like you to search. He produces a map. The grey mountains divided into zones with thick red lines of red ink. He says, pointing to the area around Frugelhofen, which is which Bondo, obviously you say, Frugelhofen, because nobody else can read. He points to this area there and goes, talk to the locals, see if they run any local legends to ground, and if you find the particular mound I'm after, map that as well. Come to think of it, you might want to collect any local legends about burial mounds. There might be another book in it after all. Frugelhofen is a very small village, but there are a couple of outlying farms and a mine further up the mountain, dwarfs, I believe. Collect rumours, walk as much of the mountain as you can. There's no substitute for getting out there yourself. See what you can find, huh?
Well, so when he is finished, I clear my breath, I clear my throat. Your boldness. I would be glad to accept this particular job on behalf of me and my esteemed friends. But also, would you perhaps look at my bum? I have a reason. I was blessed or cursed, as it may be, with a mark. A mark, I believe, is connected with Tao, and it's on a very delicate part of me. Well, my bum. I already said it. It's on my bum.
Tom,
would you look at it?
You're a sweetheart, but you're going to have to make a fellowship test to try and make a monk look at your ass.
Hey, it's worth a shot, all right?
It's always worth a shot at 3 a.m. in the morning at the bar. Let's roll for charisma. So your fellowship,
see
sir.
what my amazing fellowship is. It's so shit as well. This is going to be.
So what is your amazing fellowship? Just out of curiosity.
26.
26.
Right,
I'm going to give you a -5 because you called him your boldness.
I pass.
Fucking pass. Unbelievable.
What did I say?
Like,
What are the odds, huh?
amazing, you actually passed that. Unbelievable. Okay, so,
Yeah.
so despite calling him your boldness, he looks at you and goes, did you say on your ass? And at that point, one of the little acolyte comes running in again. I guess he was like outside the door and just heard this, and just comes running in immediately and starts whispering to Jean-Louis, and Jean-Louis goes, "Oh, mes amis, I must ask you to excuse me," he says, rising from his chair. "Good etiquette demands you rise. You can or may not. It's entirely up to you if you want to be, good etiquette and all that shit."
No stands up, he gets the vibe.
Okay, yeah, Ziggy immediately stands up as well. Yes, but we have another visitor who demands my attention, a merchant from Pravaron who buys our wines and cheeses, after trying to chase the price down to nothing, of course. By the way, none of you have actually spoken about cash or money.
I was thinking it.
Great. Well, you good. You could be our representative in that department, because we're always idiots who never think about this stuff. In particular,
I'm just pleased I've not been chased by the watch anymore.
there is something else that has occurred to me. Apart from my arse, your boldness, we should probably tell you about.
Yes, oui, quickly.
Well, when we were on our way here, right, there was a bit with a pub and some werewolves, but before that, right, we stopped off at a little shrine. It was a shrine to Tal, and there were a bunch of ratty people there not me. I'm ratty, but they were really ratty, like proper ratty. I believe they're Skaven or something.
Oh,
they were
Skaven,
there.
yes. We've had reports of Skaven for the last 10 or 20 years in this area. It is not uncommon, if not unfortunate. You did well to escape with your lives. How many of them were there? Several, 20, 30, or...?
There was maybe 5, and they were pirates. They were pirates.
He stops and goes, 5. Like that was the most important piece of information he took from it. 5. Of no matter, unusual that there would be so small in number. Lucky for you, my friends. I forgot to mention, he sort of changes the subject quite quickly. It shouldn't take more than 2 weeks or so to conduct your investigations and report back to me. During that time, I offer you 2 crowns per person per day as basic pay, plus a small amount to pay informants. There will be a final payment at the end of your work, 5 crowns per person in any case, with a bounty of 5 crowns per person for each mound map, and 20 crowns if a mound can be directly linked to the blue-blooded bandits. I shall give you 20 crowns as an advance, representing 1 week's pay and expenses. The rest will be payable when you report to me in a fortnight's time. Is this agreeable? Ziggy immediately drops something on his foot. Like that. He just looks at all of you. What are you going to say?
Bondo finds this most agreeable, sir.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very excited to hear this.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great deal of money to me.
Yes, actually, looking. Oh, yeah, it's quite a lot of money for you, actually. Ratty, what do
It
you
is.
make? What do you make of money, Ratty?
I sort of like. Firstly, I'm looking at my fingers, trying to do
The math.
maths of what he's. Yeah, and then
Are you
and then
going to
I
have to take
go.
a shoe off to count this one up?
I go. Yeah, is that each or all of us? Each, all of us.
20 gold
Bondo will
crowns
explain
each.
it to you later.
Yeah.
You're all right there, bud.
Yeah.
Okay, I start crying a little bit at that point, weeping, and because Teddy would have loved this. Oh,
Okay, cool.
he would have
So,
loved it.
so
You
with
would have nicked the candelabra.
yes. Bon. I hope you will stay overnight. If you do not, of course, you're most welcome to stock up on anything you might need for your journey. You might find Padre Pierre, our librarian, particularly interesting to talk to. Everybody make an intelligence test at that remark, please. Anybody pass?
I
Failed spectacularly.
pass.
Okay, you don't know what sarcasm is, but you suspect that was what people talk about when they say sarcasm.
What did he say again? Sorry.
That you'd find Padre Pierre particularly interesting to talk to. You notice that's a funny thing when people usually try and fob you off.
All
and
right.
get
So
you to
when
do
he says that, and if I clock that, I go, "Oh, so he's quite boring, is he?"
Yeah, the acolyte now drops something on his foot and just picks it up. And Jean-Louis looks at you and goes, "There's something about you." And he sort of just walks off and goes, and just starts humming a tune. There's a tune that he starts humming. Like that. And Tom, you immediately stop. And there's something about that tune that just triggers off a very strange childhood memory. And it's a tune that you used to hum yourself a long time ago when you were a kid.
Okay.
And it goes from like... You used to hum it all the time, and you don't know who taught it to you. Obviously you grow up and you forget such childish things, but it's definitely something that you used to hum as a kid, and you'd forgotten all about it until this moment, until he started like mindlessly humming it as he walked down the corridor with his little assistant. So folks,
Okay, cool.
that's where you're at. So you have a gig, which is great. You have 20 gold crowns
Money,
each.
finally.
There's a pouch, actually, there's a chest that's been left for you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 pouches. Dr. Dasher, by the way, is not in this room. I forgot to give him out. And neither is Wavy Davy. They sort of like took Dr. Dasher to be looked after because he was basically hammered. He's also isn't he supposed to be like a lay monk or something as well? Didn't I get that right?
Here's the lay towel.
That's right, he's a lay monk at Tal, yeah. So Wavy is obviously trying to help Dr. Dasher, so they're not used.
He's gone to get the sacrificial wine, isn't he?
Something like that, yeah, the sacrificial wine. So it's just the 4 of you in this room, and just the 4 of you have been entreated to take on this kind of like very straightforward quest. What do you want to
Okay.
do? What's the plan, folks? You're all
So
staring
the
at the
quest is to go
chest.
and check out this area where there are some mounds, where connect them with this legends of these old bandits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, has he given us the money?
They've left a chest on the table with 4 pouches,
What were
presumably
you about
stuffed
to say?
full
He
of cash.
left a check.
He's left a check. It says, "I owe you 80 gold crowns." Signed, Teddy. Yeah, there you go.
For the first time that I can think of, Ratty desires some money. So I actually look quite guilty about the idea of taking money because
Yeah, sure.
money is something that I'm not really used to, and I never really I was kind of told in the village that I wasn't really worth money or anything like that. I was sort of, but I do sort of stop and I say to the others, you know what, guys, if it was possible at all, I would quite like to try and, I've been trying to get some type of armor or something, because every time I get walloped, it doesn't half sting. So is there any way around here I might be able to try and acquire some kind of armor? I could use some of that gold for it.
Well, Bondo reckons that if this lot are worshippers of Tal, there'll be a tanner round here, which means there'll be leather. If there's leather, you're one of them wizards. Leather's alright, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's...
You have no formal wizardry training. You have no idea if it's all right or not. Like,
no, I was just thinking something nice and just something a little bit more. I mean, it was nearly going to be that bloody apron thing, but that turned out to be human skin. So,
you'd have looked great in that, Tom. Don't deny.
Human skin's best avoided, I reckon.
I think it just gives the wrong impression.
It
when
was
you meet
leathery.
Most people.
It was leathery.
Yeah, but when people notice the nipples on it or something like that.
Nipples and a really bad tattoo. All right, Blue. Blue.
Nice GMT.
So that's your sort of idea of what you want to do. Blue and Bondo, you've got 20 gold crowns. This is a settlement. There's not gonna. You can't like buy like, I don't know, like gold gilded like scabbards and shit like that. But you'll be able to get basic supplies and stuff. What do you two want to do? And I mean, Blue, what do you want to do first? In terms of, you've got like a few hours before you need to set off if you want to set off today.
I would like to. I've been out in the woods alone for several days, and I'm really looking to get my jacket. I've had it some torn a bit, so I would like to get that, like find a seamstress to patch it up and get some provisions, just some foods. Like I had been eating, nuts and berries and
squirrels.
I would like
small animals.
There's some salted meats or something to pack up for this.
Okay, sure
Not
thing.
the cheese.
Not the cheese. Stay away from the cheese.
Yeah.
Dr. Dash just walking past going, the cheese! Cheese! Stay away from the cheese!
They use cheese to wake him up.
Yeah.
They just put it under his nose.
Yeah, in fact, actually, you hear Dr. Dasher being, I am not going to bed! Stop telling me you're my mother! And you hear Wavy Davy goes, I never said you were my mother, just go to bed. So obviously he's trying to get them down. They're not of any use whatsoever, but at least you know where
I like
they
the
are.
idea of Dr. Dasher and Wavy Davy becoming a little double act.
Oh, I kind of like that. I kind of like that too. Cool. So, is the plan generally for you all?
Imagine Sean Connery and Bowie.
Sean Connery and Bowie, you bastard! Bowie, you good-looking handsome bastard! Stop putting cheese in my mouth. No cheese.
No reaction going here.
Right. So, are you making like a kind of rough plan with your new compadre to meet up in like an hour or so, grab what you need and get on the road?
I guess so. I mean, are they giving us a stay overnight, like a dorm or something? Like,
it's an option if you want it.
Or maybe we could just go back to the that shed place where we should go and check on the penguins. So I'm going to go and look for some armor, and then I sort of say I'm going to head back to the penguins in the next a couple of hours. I'm going to go back to the penguins.
Okay.
So that's my plan. I say that to the others as we kind of split up.
Okay.
Blue? I do the same thing. Yep.
Okay.
I want to go find as quickly as possible, find a seamstress, and I want to get back to the penguins.
Okay.
As well.
The penguins.
So if you all want kind of basic camping provisions, that'll give you enough for most kind of fair enough scenarios, like you want to make a kind of tent or
Bedroll.
bedroll, that kind of stuff. Something to then let's say take off 2 gold crowns for each person, because obviously there's a really limited supply of stuff because you're in the middle of nowhere. But if you want to put down camping kit or camping supplies on all of your character sheets, you may do so. That can manifest itself in whatever you desire. So for Tom, it may just be like, half an umbrella that he uses as a tent or something. I don't know. Go with your characters, folks. But basically, you have camping supplies to be able to make camp as a group. So we want to put.
Can I ask about? So I've gone to look for a tanner's to look for some kind of armor.
So, by the way, folks, anybody that wants camping supplies, give me your gold crowns and make Sad Neil eat them. That's what he's there for. To eat fate points and gold crowns.
Neil, the gold crowns.
Feed him.
Do I have the gold crowns?
You have a gold crown.
I've just got one in my box.
You didn't know. You actually don't know what they're for either. I'm pretty sure we established that. Blue, do you
I
want?
don't know what the value of them is. No, I understand the basic concept of money. However, I do.
Bondo's going to go with Ratty because Ratty doesn't understand money, and also because
I'm
looking for talent as well.
Okay.
I will appreciate your company, but I do understand the concept of money.
That's the conversation you two have, walking arm in arm. I do understand the concept of money, I just don't have any.
I just never had any. I understand how it works, but I actually do. Although if I buy anything, I do think I can just ask for as much change as I want.
Yeah.
So I give you this, and then can I have
all of that
10 gold crowns change? No, it's. Yeah, that's.
So you're a bit flummoxed by the concept of money. Good.
Yeah.
Right. So very quickly, Blue, did you want camping supplies and whatnot?
I started my character with a camping kit.
Oh, that's right, you do. Yeah. Do you? Or if you want provisions only, then I'll just take a gold crown from you.
Yeah, Blue, I'll get provisions.
Can I ask Can we know yet what role your character is playing, or is that kind of a secret?
You mean like career?
what sort of career?
So so here's a good point that we do talk about. What your players know and what the characters know obviously are 2 different things. So I have no problem if Blue, you want to talk about a little bit about your career, not about the background obviously, because that's private. But you can talk as players about that because obviously it's going to come out. It's up to you though, Blue. It's your character.
I'll say that I am a rogue. Outlaw.
Oh, okay. All right. That's enough. Okay.
So gone with the coward, in with the sexy outlaw is what I'm saying. Right? Mm-hmm. Outlaw's way cooler than being a crap thief.
Don't be dissing. Don't be dissing Peter. Just
I'm not. I'm dissing Teddy. Teddy's easy, fair game. All right. So cool. So that's what. So you've gone to find a seamstress who you do find quite easily. Actually, a seamstress who, she does it for free. She doesn't even want to be paid. So she's like an old woman, an old wizened woman, and goes, "Oh dearie, that's seen better days, hasn't it? No, don't fret yourself about it. A couple of stitches in time will have that right as rain. Oh no, put your money away. I don't need that. I have everything that Lord Towel provides." And she starts stitching pretty quickly. She invites you to sort of sit with her, Blue, while she does her work. Tom, that was a weirdly sweet moment from me, wasn't it? Deal with it. Something bad's coming.
Sort of,
something terrible's coming. Did you like my widow twanky? Yeah. I thought I polished that one out.
Yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, that's great. You got a season of Panto ahead of you.
Thanks, mate. Thanks. That's when my career gets the lofty heights of Panto. Fuck you, Tom.
Hey man, it's very well paid.
It's very well paid.
Very well paid.
It's
Don't
where
diss the Panto.
It's where great act. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it. Right. So I got friends that do Panto. So Tom, you want to get a leather something or other, right? Some kind of leather. You're into leather. It's your leather phase. You just left college. Now you're into leather. Okay. So what do you want? I guess is the
kind of armory type. I'm basically thinking leather. Yeah, like it depends what's available. But yeah, like leather. Either sort of, but basically like something leathery that can go underneath my robe and kind of just give me a certain, so either both trousers and a top, or just a top, or whatever is available, basically.
You find which you can afford, because actually there are quite expensive things. you
Yes.
actually find, and you got two things. Sorry, folks, I've been putting in all of your boxes your money. You find for about 18 gold crowns a really nice leather jerkin, which is arms and body, and it's actually in like, it's got kind of like nice Tallarite symbols put all over it.
Ooh.
It's really fancy and cool. But that's what you think. Actually, what
But
it is,
is it-
but what it is actually a tourist trap,
I was
like
gonna ask.
leather. It's like a tourist trap, like
Am I
Disney
basically
World.
getting, like an American football jersey?
Yeah, it's basically like an American football jersey, but just has Tal everywhere and has Tallarite symbols on. So it's like if you go to like one of those like those Christian festivals and stuff they do, the rock
Does that mean
festivals.
it's not
It's
going
like
to
that.
function as armor? Like, is the stitching coming apart? Like,
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know, Tom. Is it?
can I have a look? Can I do a stitching test?
Yeah, you
I,
can do it. In intelligence, do you have sew as a, or do you have like anything like engineering or any kind of like possible?
No, but you know.
No, okay,
like,
straight intelligence test then, mate.
Okay.
I'm with him. Can I look it over?
No, yeah, you can, but I would advise you like to.
Yeah, it's like we're going to buy a car together.
I've kicked the tires a couple of times.
Yeah, you can.
I passed my intelligence check. test.
Okay. You almost critically succeeded your chess, which should have been a waste of that. But there you go. You both think that it's pretty well made, as so far as a leather jerkin can
Okay,
be well
so
made.
it's not been made in like a gnome sweatshop somewhere.
It might well have done. In fact, there's a stamp that looks like a gnome being flailed and whipped at a table. So yes, it's definitely got the. It's got the stamp. It's actually a hallmark of good craftsmanship, is that it's been made in a gnome sweatshop.
Right.
So at this point, Bondo just bristles behind you and goes, "You gonna buy that?" and just stares at you.
Oh no, it's another reason why I can't wear it. It's like I'm forever doomed not to wear armor.
Basically.
It's okay. I know that family. They work in sweatshops. It's what they do.
All right, cool. So you're
All
gonna.
right, I'm just for now, Bondo. Just
for now.
I promise. As soon as I find something better and not, so sweatshoppy, I'll.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
decent. It's
All right.
decent. Forget it.
All right. So
Okay,
so-
I'm gonna feed. Oh God, how do I pick up 18 of these? All
I
right,
don't know,
here we
dude,
go.
but feed Sad Neil, man. Just put it all down there. Don't worry about how much it is.
Boom. Hang on, one more. Oh, no, I had one already. So
Oh no,
that's-
you
that-
put Bondo in. Oh no, we put the elf. That was close.
Do it.
Okay.
Sorry, Blue, you almost got eaten.
I'll throw in
Almost.
two.
Sad
I'll throw in
Neil
two
will eat
more for,
anything.
I'll throw in two more for camping equipment. I guess seeing as actually no, I'm not going to bother because I sleep in a hedge. So
You're fine.
I'm a bit outdoorsy anyway. So
Alright.
I mean, if we need it for like supplies, do we need it like for food and stuff? Are we going like far? Do we know we're going like
Too late, Tom.
far?
2 weeks of potentially outward bounds.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
get
that's-
Here we
like
go.
for a gold
Is it
crown.
two? That's
For a gold crown
I'm
per
chipping in
person,
for
1 gold crown per
5
person will
of
buy
them.
you a week's supplies of like iron rations or salted meat and stuff. So it's like
Okay.
food lasts you a week per gold crown per person.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've just thrown in 2.
All right,
So groovy. So
right.
all right. So that's like 1 point of armor on my chest and arms.
Only up to so the way that leather works is that leather is sort of like soaks damage only to a certain point. So say if you got hit by somebody throwing you a punch that was 3 damage after your toughness took it out, that would soak up a point. But if it was like say a hit of a hammer or something falling on you that did like 5 or 6 points of damage after your toughness, the leather jacket's going to do dick. So it's not going to do anything.
That
So
makes sense.
anything after
Okay.
3 damage, it becomes useless. You can still wear it, it just doesn't do anything. So cool. Okay, so you all sort of do your various things. Bondo, if you need to get any supplies and stuff that I'm not aware of, please text me. That's fine, but just take off a gold crown.
do.
You sort of restock anything that you probably should be restocking. That's fine. We don't need to roleplay that. And you meet back up, including the elf. Where's the elf gone actually? Blue.
Aren't I right here?
Cool. So you all meet up back near where the war penguins, and the war penguins are sort of still tied up. You sort of tied them up on the other side of the tree, kind of thing, and they're still there when you get back. Cool. Okay, so you're ready. It's the middle of the day. You have the middle of the day to get ready, and you've got the rest of the day. I mean, do you want to stay overnight or do you want to keep pushing forward?
I thought we were going to stay overnight. No, we already stayed a night.
You can stay the night, and then this could be the next morning. Nothing much really happens, to be honest. Unless there's any extra questions you want to ask about. You can have like a dinner with them, and you can ask them some questions if you wish.
I mean, if no one's going to look at my arse, I guess we should get going.
No, for some reason, every time you sort of ask, oh my god, I just got rid of Sad Neil's head. Hang on a second, folks. Hold on, folks.
Oh, nearly.
No, I did it. It's fine. It's back. Thank God for that. Jesus, that was close.
You did.
No, it's gone.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's gone. All right, okay.
Back one more.
Headless.
Oh, that's bad. That's terrible. I guess to stop the entire game to get Sad Neil's head back. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I really think I should. Oh my god, am I breaking the game? Sorry, folks at home. I think anybody that's been with us since the beginning and one more back. I'm rewinding time. I'm literally using all my godlike powers to rewind time now. No! Has Sad Neil's head gone forever? We knew it was going to happen at some point.
Self-decapitation.
Yeah, man. There he is.
There you go.
For
Right,
you.
I'll put that coin back on. I won't put it too close.
Don't put it too close.
Obviously.
Like it's like a figurative eating. There you go. Like that. All right, cool. So you meet back up, and yeah, you can rest if you want to. This can be the morning afterwards if you wish. Was there any other questions or anything that you wanted to know about, or will you carry on?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm gonna have to. I've just found a picture online of a squirrel in plate mail. I'm just wondering if I can get that for the ferret. No, I'm out of money. I'm joking. I'm not kidding about the picture of the squirrel in plate mail. I actually really want to share it with everyone. It's amazing.
Put it on the Discord, dude. Put it on the Discord.
Okay, I'm going to post it on the Discord now in the general chat. Hang on, I'm so terrible at this Discord. All right, Chaos Crew chat. Okay, I'm going to post it now because it's so amazing. But yeah, I'm just thinking I need it for the ferret.
Is this something you're thinking out loud? Like, do I hear this?
No, he's saying it out loud.
So I kind of look to him, and I'm very curious about the ferrets. I think they're adorable. Yeah. And I'm
the ferrets you've noticed, by the way. Yeah, they are adorable.
This might be something Dell is interested in investing in.
Okay.
If possible.
Amazing.
I don't want the little ferrets to be hurt.
To be squished. There's lots of evil gods flying around these days, if you know what I mean.
Hang on, I've not shared. So it's on the Discord, and I'm now going to put it on the. Sorry, I'm completely derailing the game.
Totally derailing the game, do you?
But this is very important. It's
very important.
So in between derailing the game, this terrible picture that I'm drawing, so I'm half listening to you. Down at the bottom here, we have the circle, which is La Maison Tale. There's actually a waterfall, kind of, that feeds the water around the vast that goes into this waterfall, and that's when the tributary goes to La Maison Tale. So there's actually a waterfall here. The path, which winds up this way, goes all the way to the top. You can't take your war penguins, by the way. You're going to have to do all of this on foot. But that's something I didn't mention.
Are we going to have to ask someone to look after our penguins?
I wonder if there's a stable we can take them to make sure that they're cared for.
And if so, are we going to pretend that they're horses?
Again, yes.
Really, just like
last time.
I think we should, guys. Just like
absolutely. I'm in.
Yeah, the plan is.
Okay.
You know, I right. As long as we just say they're horses, they will.
This is your pep talk beforehand.
They're going to believe that they're horses.
All right. You approach the stables, all four of you, holding these two fucking enormous beasts of chaos. And this little boy kind of runs out. He's not a boy, he's like 15 years old. Comes out and goes, hello, gentlemen. Ew, what the fuck are those things? Can you all make either leadership?
Horses.
Horses. Yeah, we don't need you to make a leadership or fellowship test, depending whether you're blathering them, you're trying to obfuscate it, or you're trying to intimidate him.
I have a very high fellowship, and I do have blather.
You got blather as a skill? Okay, do it.
I
Go
have
for
blather
it.
as a skill.
No,
what's your fellowship? What's your fellowship? So Blue, if you grab these things and press R, it'll send them to the air with a much better roll. There you go. That's it. A good proper roll. 23. Nice. That's a pass.
Got to be a pass.
So tell me, Blue, how? And this dude will eat up everything that you're selling. But how are you convincing this stable boy that these are two horse-like creatures and not chaos penguins? Just lay on me.
I'm holding the. Do they have reins?
Yeah, they have reins. They have like reins and bridle and stuff.
I just say that these these are horses that we have concealed for their safety. They are being pursued.
Are they famous?
They are. They have fans.
Special racing horses.
Special racing horses. They're worth very much. But wait, no, I don't say that because I don't want them to sell them under us.
Yeah, he goes, ooh, oh, when you say, oh, not very much, just sentimental value.
Walk it back.
They eat fish, not hay.
Yes,
Fish,
they
not
eat fish,
hay.
and they need special care.
I love the fact as you say they eat fish, the elf just looks and goes, they eat fish? They eat fish. Like, what the fuck?
They eat fish, of course they do. I know. So I just say we will pay for you to take care of our horses. Yes.
I like the way you're mulling that word around your mouth. Horses.
A little wink.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. He's totally enamored by you because you're a cool elf and everything. And what you said somehow, because you say it with such confidence, it makes sense, I guess. And he sort of starts like he starts like looking for where they join. Because you're basically saying that they're covered in a kind of a skin mask thing, which is fake, right?
Yeah.
So he sort of looks for like clearly where the join should be, and goes, "Oh, it's very good, Mark. It's very good handiwork, like that." And just sort of.
I'm very good. I'm very good.
Oh, right, you are, Mr. Self. And goes, "All right. Well, all right then. I'll look after your horses," and gives you like a wink, and then he sort of takes you off. It's going to cost you 2 gold crowns, so it's gold crown each. For the week. That's full board and it's pretty cheap actually for a stable, to be honest. But he'll take good care of your horses. So somebody wants to pay a gold crown, another person wants to pay a gold crown, or whomever wants to pay that, that's fine. Sad Neil is hungry again and demands to be fed.
Just one?
One each. So if Bondo pays one, that's fine, and the elf can pay the other one, that's fine. Alright.
I've got one left. I could pay.
Too late, but you did that thing of, oh, my round, does anybody want a drink? Oh, you've just got one. Okay.
It's my last gold crown as well, so I just sort of hold it out and then
He holds it out really slowly.
I just kind of look at him and I'm like, put it away. It's okay. We got it.
Luckily, Ratty has no shame. He's cool with doing that. All right, so back to so you're flashing forward. You go past the waterfall and you have to walk up this very winding, narrow path. It's beautiful. The waterfall is huge. It's got to be at least 100 feet tall, 150 feet tall, something like that. And the bottom is sort of foams around, and you usually see lots of villagers washing their clothes. Some people are dyeing things and buckets nearby. It's got lots of fish going around, so clearly it's the lifeblood of this valley, this Vasswater. And it sort of flows up from the mountain. In fact, it sort of seems to start in the distant mountains up here. Of which there is an enormous singular mountain which towers above all the other ones in this area. You are in the grey mountain areas, so really there are mountains all around you, and there are bigger peaks over here, clearly. But basically, this one particular mountain to the east is apparently the Frugal Horn, which is where the valley gets its name. So the Frugal Valley. So that's that. Just in the distance. You're supposed to be tracking east directly to Frugalhofen, which is over here, the town of Frugal. And this is like the higher plain. The plains are split into 3. There's one here.
Is that the town of Frugal on the River Hoffen?
Possibly. I can't remember. So this is Frugalhofen, which is on the river, the Vasswater. Clever bastard. Vasswater River. So that's Frugalhofen, which is where you're supposed to be heading towards.
Right.
You're there to check it out, get information, and find the mine, and maybe ask about local legends, and all the stuff that was in the pamphlet.
Mountains are crazy, man.
But you're on foot, so the going is definitely going to be a lot slower than before, because obviously the penguins are horse-like. You do make it a good 6 hours of walking, hard pushing. And then actually you decide, all of you get exhausted, and it's been a long day after all. Why, and you got 2 weeks, why push yourself now? And one of you decides to make camp just off the path to the side. I guess you've lost your cook now, so does anybody know how to cook?
Oh shit, we have. It's awkward. awkward to ask the lady elf. I'm not going to...
Before you even start asking, I'm already kind of side-eyeing you.
There's this awkward moment where we all sit around staring at like a fire and a pan and
The fish is just stuck in the pan.
I guess, Ratty's version of cooking would literally just be to bung everything in that we had, like a bit of everything in, and hope for the best.
Okay, so is somebody gonna attempt to cook?
I can't believe we're finally getting around to the actual intricacies of actually how we eat and stuff like that.
That's crazy, isn't it? You might all starve to death. That's a possibility.
7 months into this whole process, and suddenly we're actually thinking about how we eat.
Yeah, I know. Well, anyway, you set the camp. All of you just staring, like willing somebody to start cooking. Like all of you just staring at the food. The campfire, luckily, obviously, you all know how to make fire, is roaring. And it's getting quite dark. And Ziggy stands and goes, listen, certainly one of us has to be able to cook. It can't just be the fucking halfling. At that point, you hear this, ho, 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 Calamity, ho, you there? And you sort of see these two figures running at you from the darkness up ahead, about 30 yards away. Elf, you see them first, actually, Blue. Bondo, you can see them pretty clearly as well because you both have night vision. Ratty, you can sort of see some figures, whereas Ziggy's going, did you say something? What's out there? And he sort of gets a branch and puts it into the fire and holds it up as a torch. What are you all doing? These two figures are running straight at you going, oh, Calamity! Like that.
I guess I'm jumping to my feet. Yeah. I produce my light, my light spell. So Noodle runs up onto my hand and like a little glowing magic flame appears above his head to cast light in their direction. Well,
you're all on maximum health points and maximum magic points for you, Tom, so you should probably put those up again, but that costs you like a magic point with no ingredients, right?
I believe, no, magic flame is free.
Is it free?
It's just a thing I can do.
All right, cool.
It's just it's
a flavor thing.
Yeah,
right, cool.
I've just checked. It's 0 magic points.
All right, cool. By the way, Blue, you know about magic. You're an elf, obviously, but I don't know how much magic you would have ever seen. So that was pretty awesome. Just FYI.
Yeah, I'm kind of amazed, and I'm had
jumped
up
up
to my feet.
It's my ferret that produced the flame.
It sits outside the ferret's head, isn't it?
Yeah, I need to put so hang on, I've got 8 wounds. All right. Sorry, I'm just putting up my magic points and stuff again.
Cool. So is anybody else doing anything? There's two figures running out of the darkness.
I had jumped to my feet, and I'm already kind of readying I'm swinging my bow off of my shoulder and have it at the ready.
Okay. They look like dwarves, more dwarves. Great, more dwarves. You've never really
I knock my arrow.
Knocked your arrow to the bow. Okay, cool. Bondo, you sort of sense that the elf is like getting ready to fire. Bondo, you can see quite clearly that these look like dwarves running at you. In fact, one of them has seen you appearing distance and immediately switches to Kazalid. Can you speak Kazalid? You can, can't you? Jim's done his thing, Blue. Jim just disappeared. Hi, Jim. Jim, can you?
No wonder you lot weren't responding to me.
Jim, can you speak Kazalid?
I can. I greet them in Kazalid.
Okay, they go, and they start talking to you back in Kazalid. By the way, they immediately switch language. Bondo is chatting to them.
Can you actually give us a bit of Kazalid?
Unfortunately, all I've got is Watelgi and Ungak and things like that. So
he says that a lot. Could you say that repeatedly, like bad dwarvish? Do you know what I mean?
Well, Ungak and Watelgi would be stupid elf. But,
they look over your shoulder and go, yeah, that is right. Yes, well met. Yes, stupid elf. Okay. So they immediately they sort of talk to you a little bit.
Talk like that.
They talk like this. Yes, stupid elf.
I like to that is a common dwarf greeting is stupid elf.
Stupid elf.
Do you also like do you sort of put a hand on Dell's bow at the same time just to kind of
I'm waving in a very sort of pillow kind of.
I like the fact that that dwarfish sounds like super old-fashioned 40s RP English. Let's go with that, Jim. I'm down with it. All right. So in Kazalid, they go, "Hello there. Do you mind us making camp with you? Dashingly awkward, I know. And last minute, there's lots of wolves and things chasing us down here. Looks like we're in a bit of a sticky wicket mess, eh?"
Damn and blast, why don't you come to the fireside and enjoy some of our hospitality?
I would love to. Having said that, of course, the uninvited guests hot on our trails, those wolves and things we mentioned, probably coming straight here too. Sorry about that, old chap. They turn around.
Oh, bloody hell.
The two dwarves run up to the gnome and they sort of chatting quite quickly, and both of them nod to the gnome, and one of them just immediately drops and opens this oilskin rag long thing that he's got on his side. Looks like kind of like a rolled up tent, and then pulls out this enormously long like blunderbuss, and sort of sticks like one of those like, you know what they call them, a shooting stick, and rests the blunderbuss edge on it, because it's so enormous and long. And the other dwarf sort of, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the other dwarf brings out this like very cool looking sharp two-handed sword. Ziggy goes, "Bondo?"
Yeah, so do I.
Well, okay, lads. The dwarves have been chased here by a bunch of wolves, and funny enough, we think they might still be heading this way. So I'd ready yourself, elf. Save the arrows for the wolves.
Bondo, you suddenly realise that your translation was a little bit off. When you thought they said wolves, because one of the dwarves turns back, obviously, clearly they understand Old Worlder, and he sort of shakes his head and goes, "Oh no, tell me, old chap, I think you've mistook the word wolves for the word manticore." Obviously an oversight on your part, and just turns around. He goes, "Small error, don't worry. Gnomes have a habit of doing that, but you'll catch on. What? And the other sort of dwarf goes, "Yes." And then out in the distance, in the darkness, you hear this.
Righty ho. Okay, let me tell the party. Well, funny thing is, it's not actually a wolf. That's a slight translation problem on my part. It's a manticore.
And at that point, folks, we're going to stop the adventure. Cool. All right. So cliffhanger, folks. Right, so that's it. So, that's it.
Time.
Cool. Well,
love it.
How are my players feeling? How are you all doing? What's going on?
That was great.
That was great,
really good. It's very sorry that Pete isn't here with us. But
Pete would have robbed the entire monastery. We'd still be there. He'd be in jail.
Yeah,
right
we'd
now.
still be there while he was
on the rob. That would be
everything. That wasn't good.
He would have got them to value their own candelabras.
When Pete's ready to come back, I'm actually thinking about doing a spin-off with his character. I think you'll all be playing. You'll be playing with him, but you'll be playing like NPCs or something. I don't know. We'll work it out. But I've got an idea for that.
Play the watch.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Chasing Pete.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But yeah. Blue. So how did you find your first session, Blue?
Very I thought it was great. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've played an RPG, but I do have some background in it. But that was great. I love this tabletop. It's really
fun,
cool to see in real time. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I hope everybody enjoyed that in the chat. Hello.
We already got some cool like Dell fan art, so
nice.
Thank you guys so much. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to see that. All right, folks. Well, listen, from your all-powerful, all-knowing God that can smite you quicker than you can say roleplay, I had a hoot, and it's really nice to see what this adventure is going to be like. So thanks very much for playing. Thank you to the community for watching. I hope you had fun. Thank you to our mods as well as always for the support you do in Discord and also on the stream. And I believe Blue should have the honours to do the thing.
Yes, definitely.
You can do the thing.
Wait. Do what thing?
Do the thing. You know.
See the flip. See the flip at the top.
Oh, the flip.
You gotta
do the thing.
Okay.
Bam! It's beautiful. All right, folks. See you around the table next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.